Good morning, Joanne.
I'm reading your chat.
Hey, everybody.
2 days later, you sure.
Morning, y'all. Go there. Morning, y'all. Yeah. All right, well, let's get started. January 12th, can you believe it? As a common disclaimer, the meeting's being recorded, so everything you say will be on the internet. Quick agenda. We're doing our normal pre-meeting or early meeting stuff. We'll go through a couple announcements, not too many today. Got some happy bucks, and then our program today is District Governor Ray Anderson. So he'll be joining us virtually today. In order to not be a super spreader, he has decided he's not going to be spreading COVID to all of us. So, not that he has it, but you know. All right, so join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Wonderful. All right, and move on to the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it
be beneficial to all concerned?
It'll be fun. All right, you can be seated. Thank you. All right, today guests. Well, we've got Norris. Raise your hand. We've got Norris over here, so wonderful. Good to see you, Norris. Paulette. Got another guest over there. Michael Brady. Awesome. And online today, I believe that we've got we've got my friend Howard. We've got Howard.
Hi.
And then Ray Anderson. And let's see if Bucci's on yet. No Bucci yet, but Bucci is supposed to appear. So District Governor elect.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of guests today, a very guest-filled day. Wonderful. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us, and hope that you have a great time with the program. Michael Brady, you are up.
I am, okay.
You're up. He's working on his extemporaneous speaking today. And he's going to be speaking on a Rotary Minute. So please enjoy Michael winging it.
So up there in front of the camera.
Yeah, come on up. You can see yourself in this little screen here to verify you're on stage.
Okay. So what I guess
You can also take your mask off.
thank you. I will. So I guess I'd like to share. We always talk about how being in Rotary or being in leadership changes other people, but we don't really talk about how you're going to be changed. And when I was in college, I was president of a student organization, and my intent was really good, but my execution was poor because I was 22 and I didn't know anything. And I didn't know about building leadership. I thought that positional power meant influential power. It doesn't work that way, I'm gonna find out. And so it really bothered me for a long time. That failure, as I see it, impacted me probably 20, 30 years, and in a good way. Like, wow, I've got to really work on this and leadership, stuff like that. So I was president of my Boulder Rotary Club maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I was really committed to say, hey, I want to supplant a bad experience and bad memory with a good one. And so basically Rotary being a leader in another membership-led organization gave me the opportunity to kind of heal that. And that was incredibly meaningful. That was probably my aha moment, that you're surrounded by a group of people who are vested in your success because it's in their best interest as well. And I never shared that with anybody until the very end of the year, saying, you guys don't know it, but this was so important to me because I needed to do that healing for myself, and everyone was a part of that. And that was my Rotary family and experience, and I'm a better person because of it.
Thank you so much, Michael. That was really wonderful. It feels fairly apt after our last club assembly, so it touches on some of the tones of what we were talking about. Well, that being said, a couple of announcements to get them out of the way. Just a little bit more information for Charter Night for those who haven't gotten through all their emails yet and haven't seen the invitation out. So Charter Night's February 3rd, so Thursday evening. Doors will open at 5:30, and that's when we'll have a little cocktail hour again. Okay. It'll be at the Boulder Country Club. There'll be a silent auction. If you have anything that you want to give at the silent auction, reach out to Anne. How about Anne? Sounds perfect. And we'll be announcing and working out the Spark Plug Award at that time. And then also, if you want to RSVP with yourself or with a guest, that'll go to Maribeth. So mhski@aol.com or mhski, if that's easier to remember. Wonderful. Some quick retouching on some of the Marshall Fire announcements we had last time. So Suzanne Ginger has been rolled into our area initiatives within Rotary, so she'll be helping us coordinate that. She's online today, but she's going to be seeing all those emails coming in, and she'll help us organize that information. On top of that, we also have that resource list sent out. I saw that Val had sent out some more info too, but if you take a look at that, you'll see a lot of connection to places where our club is given already. So that way we can continue those initiatives and support, the sustainability of projects we already had. Much of that may have been reduced or impacted by the fire. So, helping those organizations out is one way to make sure that we can bring that sustainability back up. Again, there's a fund at the district. So if you want to be giving and you want to give, towards a larger cause, big fund, the district fund is available. They still have that list available if you want to sign up for volunteer coordination through the district. And then we still have tornado relief disaster response work going on out in Kentucky. I think I mentioned last time my mother had just gotten back right before, and I got to listen to her talk about it. And she said she's worked in Puerto Rico, she's worked North Carolina after hurricanes, Texas after the hurricanes and flooding. She said by far the disaster in Kentucky is the worst she's ever seen in all of her disaster reports. So for what that's worth, it's pretty horrific out there as well. So if you have more to give, also consider that. That said, again, always on a somber note as we enter Happy Bucks. I hate that. But, we have Happy Bucks. For those who are unacquainted, Happy Bucks is a time where we donate a little bit of money to club causes, but it gives us an opportunity to tell the rest of the club something for the good of the club or a fun announcement. We're trying to stay away from glum bucks. I know that's been happening lately, but I think that there's a lot of positivity that's been going around lately. So if you sure, thank you.
I'm happy about because I'm going back to flying back this weekend to see my twin brother. He's got ALS and he's not feeling too well. Hair on water. This is a special visit. This is a happy buck, for bringing in a new Rotary and John Stringfeller.
This is Happy. I'm going to visit my grandkids in California. And my son-in-law has his parents there from Wales, and they've been there for a month, so I'm sure everybody's ready to go home. So I'll get in on the goodbye. It's great to see you. But they're great people and they're fun to be around.
I got a happy 5 because Boulder managed to find asphalt to build 5 new speed bumps. And not fill any potholes.
What a positive twist.
I am just so happy that my friend Mike is here and that Brady is here, another great friend, and that John's going to be. officially with us today, and also the sunrise is beautiful.
I'm happy because Rain's recovery went well. In fact, it was, quote, the best me ever.
Well, I'm happy to be here and happy to be a member.
We've been married 53 years and went to the fire. I've got a good husband. Oh, one more thing, my son had Omicron. He had all the shots, the booster, the whole bit. And I called his wife, I said, how's he doing? She said, he's out shoveling. He was fine. So anyway, that's a blessing.
So speaking of the Broncos, I'm happy that they we're gonna get a new coach and a new owner.
Hey. Something's gotta change. In which order?
Who cares?
I'm happy to see so many people today, and the ATM gave me 5s and 10s, so it's not a happy buck, it's a happy 5. That's how good today is.
Just thankful for another beautiful day.
Miss Carrie.
Yeah, this is for last week's IOU. And I am thankful that we have District Governor Ray with us virtually. And that's the hybrid way nowadays. And that's 2. And then I want to say that it's 2022 and we're on a roll, John and I. And Beth, we got Beth on to keep track on the computer for planning our 25th anniversary.
Awesome. Thank you all. Does anyone online have any happy bucks to share today? I'll give them a second to.
Pete, you're unmuted. So is
All right, no one online is happy. That's not a good sign, but we'll move on. If you have happy bucks, we'll cover them a little bit later. Appreciate it very much. I think this would be a really good time to, yeah, if Bob, if you'd like to come and join me up here. And this is the time we're doing an induction, so everyone can.
There's gonna be 3 of us up here, so I'm gonna mask.
Yes, of course.
Come on up, John. And John.
so is the
Good,
district
we'll all
governor
stand
doing
here. Well, today, we are honored to induct John Fellow, and it's a new member of Rotary International and a member of Flatirons Rotary Club of Boulder. So everybody give a good smile. This will be short and sweet, but many of us go through life focused on education and other things, and we forget about the world around us. At some point, we realize we must give back. And so those of us that are here, we give back to society and to our community. And we believe that joining Rotary is one of those life-altering realizations. And so, John, I want to welcome you to the team. You have already demonstrated the most important primary object of Rotary, service above self. As a graduate of the United States Naval Academy with sea duty in the Persian Gulf on the USS Esteem, a minesweeper, and the US O'Brien, a destroyer. And now the current board president of the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Awareness of mental illness is one of the current areas of growth and the focus of it. You have been chosen for membership in this Flatirons Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community who demonstrates the foundations of Rotary. While membership is an honor and a privilege, it involves a corresponding obligation. An important part of membership is regular attendance and the weekly meetings. And we know it's hard to make these meetings in these times of the pandemic. But we ask that you make it a priority to attend as often as you can. It's one of the greatest privileges of Rotary is its fellowship and the mutual confidence it inspires. Your past employment demonstrates an ability to create, organize, implement complex plans and procedures. And this will benefit the Rotary committees you choose to join. Therefore, we commit ourselves to doing our part to make you feel welcome. In return, we expect that you will share the responsibility for the development of closer personal relationships to our mutual benefit. The community will know and judge Rotary through your example and character and service. We are proud to accept you as a member because we believe the principles and objects of Rotary will be safe in your keeping. We most heartily offer you the right hand of Rotary. The community, and with this presentation of the pen, you will notice, as John puts this on him, that he is the first recipient of the new branding pen.
Oh, wow.
And so you will notice it when you.
This is your lucky day because it's not a pin, it's a magnet. That's why I drew blood with the last guy. Okay. Okay. Just have to be really strong. I got it out straight.
So he breaks ground with the new pen, and you'll notice that on the badge of our assistant governor, it's the same new branding that's on his badge. And so the old pen is gone, the new pen is in, the new replaces the old. Put your hands together, and I present to you our newest member, John Stringfellow, board president of NAMI and a farmers insurance agent. You wish to say anything at this point?
Well, I guess the first thing is if you want to have somebody write your introduction, Bob the guy. That's better than I would have ever thought. So thank you so much. The second thing, I'll just say, John invited me to some meetings, a few months ago, I think 6. I just felt good every time I come to a meeting and when I left. I just liked how I felt after I left the meeting. I love the work that Rotary does, so I have to be a part of it. Thank you.
Great to have you. I give you your membership, certificate of membership. The secretary is not here, but I think yours is good. And here's your badge, and I marked that out because it came with the wrong one, but a new one is ordered, so this is temporary, just to know that you still appreciate it.
John, that new badge will probably take years because I've been here for years and mine still isn't. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, and John again. Welcome to the club. And really, another round of applause for John. Wonderful. Well, that being said, I think we're coming up on our presentation hour here just a couple minutes early. Ray, if you're ready.
Is he on there?
I see him. He's right there.
Oh, okay. I'm looking.
No worries. So I think
I'll take your lead, Jay. I'm here.
To make you the spotlight. And
Is there sound on?
yeah, we've got sound through the speaker here.
Okay.
And then let's see what we can do about getting you up to the screen up there. Turn. Oh my. All right. All right, you're live, Ray. Can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I was going to say, it's pretty quiet over there.
How about now?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. A lot of feedback.
Okay, I think we can hear you now.
Well.
No. We've got nothing, Ray.
What would be funny is if he's muted, I
It doesn't appear that he's muted, but
No, I'm not muted.
this is very odd. And we're using computer speaker now too. There's no reason not to hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe he should call.
It's super. Oh, but they can hear him on Zoom, but we can't hear him on our end.
Oh,
That's really strange.
a lot of feedback.
Lots of echoing. So okay, this is. Carrie, would you be able to? Yeah, thank you. It's a good thing we're 10 minutes early into our. Oh, yeah. Very. No, not too early now.
Saying good morning to my husband. Haven't seen him like that.
How about now, Ray? Can
you hear me?
Right, say it again.
Oh, there you are. I can hear you very well.
All right, I think. Ray, can we still hear you?
I can hear you.
We all just have to get silent in here, okay? It is off.
Jay, can you hear me now? Hardly, huh?
Hear it from the computer.
Right. Yes.
Is that any better? I turned up my volume.
Yes.
Still a lot of echoing.
Maybe that's a little. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. It's not. Okay, try that. The microphone is literally off on everything. Weird.
Did you try turning off one of your mics?
All of them are off.
Oh, it's still echoing.
Still working, even though it says it's not.
Is my voice echoing?
No.
Oh.
So we need
Did you try maybe everybody online except for me muting? Try that.
You sound fine, Ray. I just can't hear anything from the meeting right now.
I can't either. Yeah. Jay, you've gone, and the meeting's gone silent. Maybe that's a good thing.
All right, I think we've isolated out all the problems here. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you, Jay.
Hey, there we go. No more echo. All right. Well, I've got the introduction for Ray. Thank you for everyone and your patience. We're still 5 minutes early on the program, so it's great. Ray Anderson has been a member of the Rotary Club of Highlands Ranch since 1997, serving as its president in 2000 to 2001. He served as assistant governor, district membership co-chair, and a member of the district visioning team, a PETS facilitator, and a graduate of RLI. Ray is a Paul Harris Fellow and a member of the Paul Harris Society. He has 2 nieces and granddaughter. And his 2 nieces and granddaughter have attended RILA and Junior RILA. Ray was born in Chicago. Go Cubs, or are you a Sox fan, Ray?
I left when I was 2. I'm not sure.
Okay, so you weren't wearing socks. We'll assume you're a Cubs fan. All right, and after a short stay in Dallas, his family moved to Coral Gables, Florida in 1955. He received a bachelor's degree in business from Florida State University in 1972. He and his wife Peggy married in 74 and subsequently moved to Tallahassee, or from Tallahassee to Williston, North Dakota, where he began a career as a landman in the oil and gas industry. He worked as an independent landman until joining A&R production company, Coastal Oil and Gas Corporation in 1984, at which time the family was moved to Centennial, Colorado. There you go, from North Dakota to Centennial. Ray retired at the end of 2019 from Puckett Land Company and as its land manager after 15 years. He's a member of the American Association of Professional Landmen, Denver Association of Petroleum Landmen, the National Association of Realtors. Ray and Peggy have 2 children, Jane, her husband Chris, and daughter Sequoia, who live in Longmont, and Eric and his wife Jessie, who live in Denver. So I think that's your introduction here. You can take it away.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Thank you very much. Great to be with you all this morning on Zoom, the new way, I guess, of doing things. Sorry I couldn't be with you this morning. Great to see Mike Brady, your assistant governor, our assistant governor. He's one of 12. And so thanks for your comments this morning, Mike, about leadership. I'll keep those in mind in my position. So I appreciate that. Always good to see Marty and Bob. Bob was, of course, assistant governor during the time that I was. And Marty is a member of Highlands Ranch at one time until her and Bob decided to move to the mountaintop of Boulder and join your club. So great to see them. John, I welcome you to the family of Rotary, and John, who introduced you, thank you. Shaker, our RI president's, one of his sayings this year is each one bring one, and you have done that. So thank you very much. And I know, John, you'll enjoy your relationship with Boulder Flatirons as well as with the rest of the family of Rotary in the district. So congratulations for joining and welcome. A couple of things before I get into my little story that I want to share with you is that the great news since July 1st is that in the district we've added 73 new members. And what's great about that is that we built up our membership because we know in January it's every club trues up their numbers. There are those that just naturally leave Rotary because of circumstances and other reasons. But what's great about that is that it still left us with a positive growth for the year to this point of 28 members. And with the addition of John this morning, that makes 29 that I know of. And so that is great news for us. And I will tell you, our district within the zone is in the top 5 of membership growth. So you're to be congratulated along with the rest of our clubs for all of that work. Also wanted to bring you up to date because it affected you so closely, is where we are with the fire donations. As of yesterday afternoon, I got a number from Bev, who of course the checks and credit cards are going to, and at this point we've raised $30,300. And as I shared with the district presidents and president-elects last night, along with the AGs, we have had inquiries from as far away as Vermont out east and the Pacific Northwest out west. And so, and we're getting a lot of good support financially and emotionally from our two adjoining districts, Northern Colorado and Wyoming, as well as Southern Colorado. So I wanted to share that with you. And as you're all probably aware, Sally Brown over at Mike Brady's Boulder Club has agreed to be a point for us in determining how that money should be spent. We at a district are going to listen to you all. You're the impacted area, the same as we did last year in Grand County when they had their fires. So Sally, working with JD Crones, who's the new co-chair of our district natural response disaster committee, will be determining the needs. And as you know better than I, so many needs are currently being met. And so we're pleased to know that we are not first responders. And so we'll be looking for ways in which to distribute the funds that we raise. So thank you all for your support. We are with you. I'm sure that many of you have had friends, if not family, that have been definitely and directly affected by the fire. So with that, I wanted to share a story with you, and it involves a little video. Jay, is the video ready to go?
Yes, one moment.
Okay, well, just hold a minute then, and I'll do a little introduction here. I want to share a 2-minute portion of a video, a movie that was produced in 1951. Many of you might remember The Day the Earth Stood Still. Michael Rainey played the lead character in that, and as you'll see, he's getting ready to leave Earth and go back to his planet. I do want to call your attention to, there's an actor that we all will recognize that was one that typically was picked to play Albert Einstein in many movies over the years. And I want you to pay attention to his lapel pin that he's wearing on his black suit coat, and it's a Rotary pin. I did not know this, of course, when I first watched the film when I was 8 years old, but I have recently learned that. Well, over the years, the movie made an impact on me and actually led to me for the reasoning that because of its message, subliminally, I might add, to me, that I learned in 2018 when I was at President-elect training seminar doing as a facilitator. There was a gentleman, Kelly Atkinson from the Utah district, who ended up playing the same clip and explained why he was a Rotarian. Well, at that moment, I realized what the message had been to me all those years. And I made sure that my family and granddaughter and the kids all watched the movie. And so I'll say a little more about that and go ahead and play that clip. Thanks.
Wonderful.
Uh-oh, no sound.
Working on it, as always.
Jay, I'm told there's 2 little boxes at the bottom for audio and video that need to be checked just after you share the screen.
Yeah, there isn't, unfortunately. There's no boxes today. So we're looking for what other options there are, but of course,
okay.
This is the first time we've ever had any of these issues.
Oh, oh, it's the first time for everything.
Yeah. No. Let's see if there's another.
That's a Rotary.
That's the old brand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's the old wheel, sure. Yeah.
The old brand.
It's actually the same one I'm wearing on my other lapel from our theme pin.
So, All right, I think that's all we've got. Unfortunately, I don't see any option for changing the audio on that, and that might be an issue with the YouTube video being embedded.
Jay, it's okay. It's not the first time that's happened, so it's probably not your system at all. That happens every so often. So go ahead and turn it back to me and we're good to go. But you got to see the lapel pin. So. All right, great. Well, many of you may have seen the movie, and one of the things I wanted to call attention after watching that clip was that, well, let me sidestep a moment. What's really interesting about this movie is it's one of those movies that is in so many books of movies you watch before you die. And the movie also had an impact, curiously enough, on George Lucas when he was writing Star Wars, because as many of you may remember, in the movie, there was a phrase, Klaatu Barada Nikto, which the Patricia O'Neill, who you saw there, was told to mention if the robot, Gort, came to see her, and instead of killing her with his ray, he picked her up and took her into the spaceship. Well, anyway, George Lucas, when he was writing Star Wars, he created three characters, Klaatu, Barada, and Nikto. And so the legacy of this movie continued on. But in the movie, Michael Rennie makes a comment to everybody. He says, the universe grows smaller every day, and the threat of aggression by any group, anywhere, can no longer be tolerated. Well, I want to paraphrase that for a moment, because what's really going on there is Michael Rennie is talking about Earth joining a group of planets. And should Earth continue to go in its direction, that simply won't be tolerated by the other group of planets. Well, the message there, to me, when you think about what he's saying and the fact that he's wanting to work and with the Earth, the people of Earth, is simply the world grows smaller every day, and the threats from any illness or disaster anywhere can no longer be tolerated. Because you see, the message there for me, as I realized in 2018, what he was really talking about, he was talking about what we do in Rotary. And in the late 80s, we realized that we were not going to tolerate polio. And so we set about the task of eradicating polio from the earth and keeping the people of Earth safe. And we've also gone in the same direction as your club has, and clubs in the district and worldwide, in doing what we can to bring safe drinking water and water in general to the people of Earth. And we don't care whether who the governments are, what their politics are. We set that all aside because we focus on the people that we are wanting to serve. And that's never truer than what we've seen recently in Afghanistan. And I will tell you personally, and I think I'm not alone in this concern, when the Taliban took over Afghanistan, we were concerned that all hopes of eradicating polio were dashed. Well, what I didn't realize and was later told and informed as recently as Vicky Pullis talking to the presidents last night, that over the years of wherever the Taliban and other groups like that have been, that Rotary, along with the World Health Organization and other groups, but us taking an active part as an organization, worked with these groups, worked with the Taliban in explaining the need for the eradication of polio. And so these conversations have continued even into the Taliban taking over Afghanistan. And several years ago, the Taliban agreeing to the vaccinations, but putting a limit and saying you can't do house to house, just in the last 6 weeks have passed on that and said, no, you can begin to do vaccinations door to door, house to house. So that's the influence our organization has. And through your club foundation and through the Rotary Foundation, we can continue those efforts. We're so close on polio. It may be slowed down a little bit, but we were down to just a couple cases. And Pakistan still appears to be polio free. So we're working with the new government in Afghanistan, of course, to continue that initiative. So this is just one other way in which, us as an organization can make a difference in the world. And we're seeing that locally with the money we're raising to help you folks and your neighbors and friends in getting through this most recent situation with the fires. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about membership. One of the things that I've realized in conversations I've had over the last couple of years and more just recently is that a lot of times when we have members that leave our clubs, we sometimes, not always, but go after them and sit down over coffee and ask them why. Why did they leave? What could we have done differently? What events should we have been engaged with? I suggest, and John, I hope John talks to John about this, but why, John, you joined Rotary and selected Boulder Flatirons as your club? Because there's probably things that you would like to see done and things you think that are possible to be done through being a member of Boulder Flatirons. So I encourage you all to have that conversation with John and learn what he would like to do. I think a lot of times the reason a lot of members come into Rotary and then leave statistically within the first year is that they have not been asked or voiced what it is that they would like to see done and what their special cause is. And so I encourage all clubs, including my own, to stay flexible and be willing to make changes because we are in a changing world. And as we all know, we're attempting to also attract younger members because at one time we were all young when we joined Rotary or younger. And so I was not young when I joined, but I was younger. So I encourage you to be flexible as a club. We're certainly encouraging that on the district level and with the assistant governors who are doing a phenomenal job. So thank you all. I just a couple noteworthy items going on in the district aside from the fundraisers for the fire. Of course, we continue on the website to encourage people to support those people in Kentucky and out east that have had their difficulties. Also, I wanted to mention that, John, for your purposes and for the club, we do a Rotary 101 on the district level. And Bev Mandel, our operations manager, and Elena from the Highlands Ranch Club, they put on a seminar kind of bringing new members into some of the details of Rotary International and some of the things available in the district. So we'll be doing that probably in February or March again. We try to do it quarterly. So I encourage anybody wanting to learn more about Rotary or new members to attend that. Also, I wanted to bring you up to date on our license plate initiative. I hope many of you have signed the petition. Right now, we are at 3,000, which is the required number, but we know that DMV will probably remove some of those names because some people use post office boxes. But if you haven't signed up, please go out to the district website and sign up. We need more than 3,000 because the number will be reduced. But we do have state legislators lined up to present this to the state legislature in February or March. I will probably be down there to make a pitch for them approving the license plate. By signing the petition, you don't have to agree to buy one. You're just saying that you support the initiative. Kind of a funny side note to that, for years, any license plate initiative from any group was kind of opposed until to any license plate initiative. And they were opposed by the Colorado Highway Patrol. Well, they were pretty steadfast in that pushback until which time they approached the state and asked for a special license plate for themselves. So since then, they've been pretty quiet. Wanted to let you know, as you're probably aware, that RILA is back on, and there will be RILA I'm hoping that, of course, this recent surge doesn't stop that from happening. Youth Exchange, Kim Armitage is doing interviews here later in the month for those that have applied for Youth Exchange, but that is a decision that Rotary International has discussed and has been making to not do it, but that can change. And so Kim is moving ahead with that, hoping that they will allow the exchange of students in this next year. Call your attention to the International Convention in Houston in June. I have to kind of laugh at this. I missed going to Honolulu because of the pandemic, and then I missed Taipei, and now I get to be in Houston in June. And I've been in Houston in June, and from the laughter, many of you probably have done the same, but it's hot. But this time around, I was lucky to get the hotel right next door to the convention center, and there's an air-conditioned catwalk back and forth. But I encourage you to take a look at that. This is probably, for the foreseeable future, going to be the least expensive conference to attend because we're so close to Houston with nonstop flights, and of course, it's even drivable. So I encourage all of you to take a look at that and attend. And then on a personal note, I'm excited about the district conference that's coming up on April 29th and 30th. And it's going to be at the Hangar in Stanley Market. Many of you may be aware of that venue. We're excited because it's going to be a large enough venue. For those of you that don't know, that's a hangar that used to be adjacent to a runway at Stapleton. And now it's still the large hangar. And then part of the hangar has been converted over to a food court with beer, sandwiches, and ice cream. And I think it's going to be, we're going to have a lot of fun. One of the reasons for picking this venue is it allows us the space once again, as we've done in previous conferences years ago, to have a full-fledged House of Friendship. So I encourage your club to, once the sign up comes out from Bev and the district, to sign up for the House of Friendship and for the conference, to consider doing that. So one of the focuses of the House of Friendship this year will be clubs looking to partner up with other clubs. So it won't be, to use Bev's expression, so much a science fair as one of showing what projects you have, what your goals are, and looking to partner up. Because that's one of my goals this year, is for clubs to partner up. And we're doing that on a district level. The license plate initiative is a perfect example of that. 2 years ago at PETS, Becky Smith, who's the current district governor, and I were sitting around during a break and got to talking about the license plate. And so it's been 2.5 years of running through some gauntlets from DMV and Rotary International, but this is where we are at the moment. So I encourage you to, when registration opens up, please take a look at that. We're going to make it a lower cost, as we have in the past, for first-time members or members who attend the district conference. But we're going to have a little kind of get-together on Friday night, and the main conference will be all day on Saturday with a keynote speaker. And our theme this year is youth. And so we'll be organizing speakers to speak to that subject. So hope all of you can attend. Are there any questions that I can answer, either on the fire situation or other subjects? I'd be happy to take a few minutes.
Anyone in the room? I have one for you, Ray, right off the bat, which is, what are you going to do when you get to step down from district governor?
Well, you know, we've got a very strong district governor string. The past 2 district governors, Kurt Harris and Bob Kemp, and then myself, and then we have Bucci, and I see that Bucci is on, so welcome and good morning, Bucci. And then followed by Jim Johnston. And so the way I plan to do some traveling, frankly, I have to tell you, I bought tickets through Icelandic Air right after I retired. And my wife and I were going to Iceland, Sweden, and Norway. And then the pandemic hit in March. And so those plans are on hold. But of course, I still have the tickets. So that's one of the plans. and then we may spend some time in Florida. But what's of interest is on the district level, when you step down as district governor in our district, you become the finance chair for the district. And so I'll be working more closely with Marilyn Burnside, our district treasurer, and also responsible for putting together a couple other events, along with being the chair of the nominating committee for finding the next district governor that would follow Jim Johnston's successor. So 2024-25. So those are two of the key points, and then continue to stay on the string. So I hope that answers the question, Jay.
Any other good questions in the room? No, we've got a quiet bunch today. Anyone online have any good questions? Let me hop over and see if I can bring up the chat for them. All right. So I am seeing. All right, Anne's got a question in the room.
So
okay, Anne.
Conference, can we invite Rotaractors? Because if it's about youth, they should be there, no?
No, absolutely. And thank you, Anne, for that question. Oh, no, absolutely. Interactors, Rotaractors, yes. And in fact, as many of you may know, Rotaractors are now full-fledged Rotarians. Their clubs haven't come into the fold, but RI is taking, because it involves dues, and increasing what their dues probably are, because they would start to pay district and RI dues. But yes, Rotaract and Interactors, we are hoping to include them. Lee Mulberry is our Rotaract chair for the district, and he's also a member of my club. So we'll be talking with Lee. We're right now just looking at just the structure of Saturday, now that we've gotten past picking the venue and signing the contract with the hangar. So thank you for that, Ann. But yes, most definitely, because of course the focus is youth. I was actually just recently on a conversation yesterday with Cheryl O'Brien, who is our youth services chair for the district, and she's a past school administrator. And so it's a subject that's very close to her heart as well. So thank you.
Ray, we've got a question from Suzanne Ginger, which is, what's your favorite memory as district governor?
Oh, that's easy. And thank you for that. I can't enjoy the full impact of it today being on Zoom, but the highlight for me is being able to visit the clubs. And because I probably am the only person in a given year that will have the opportunity to meet all of our members in the district. And so that is certainly the high point, without any doubt. So being able to come and visit, talk about why I'm a Rotarian and my story, and then to meet all of you is just a real pleasure. And that's certainly the high point.
Wonderful. Bill Hendricks asked, what is the status of RILA? And I think that's more in like what you had mentioned earlier, that RILA is progressing and we'll have RILA this year. But if you could tell us a little bit more about an update on RILA this year, it'd be great.
I'm not don't have probably all the information, but I will tell you that yes, the decision was made last fall that we would have RILA this year. The one change, the age groups don't change at all. And I think the cost is going to go up just a little bit. One of the changes is that young RILA was being done down in Larkspur, just south of Castle Rock. And there was a little bit of a disagreement when young RILA had to be canceled a couple of years ago. Well, as a result of that, it has been decided that young RILA and RILA will basically be up around either at the YMCA of the Rockies or nearby. So that's one major change. Other than that, it's RILA as it always has been. Tom Keaton and Jan Keaton in my club are, very active in the involvement of RILA. So we get, pretty good updates from them. So I think applications are open on the RILA site for young people to apply. So I encourage you to do that. But every indication is that that's going to happen. We're hoping, of course, by the time it takes place that this recent surge has subsided and we can get back to that. They are discussing, what kind of parameters there will be in terms of vaccinations and protocols and whatever the YMCA is requiring. And of course, at that time, whatever the county and the state is requiring as well. So we go with the flow. So.
Wonderful. Any other online questions? Don't see any hands raised. No other questions in the chat there. Any other new questions in the room? Oh, I've got a lot of, I saw Leslie raise her hand, but it wasn't for her question. Oh no. Well, Ray, we really want to thank you very much for, joining us today. And I think we can all give Ray a round of applause for the hard work he's done this year.
Thank you very much. Thanks all of you. A lot of good work going on there.
Well, and you're taking on one of the more challenging years, I'm sure, that we'll see in Rotary in many years. So appreciate you putting in all the hard work this year. With that said, I will transition us back over to our meeting slides. And bam, there we go. So. Well, I think we're ending just on time today, which is always wonderful. So again, Ray, thank you so much for your participation. When we see you next, we've got a little token of appreciation. So hopefully sometime in the future, we'll be able to get that, set up and put on camera for you. Because we'd love to, show you our appreciation for your time today and your hard work this year.
Thank you, Jay. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Well, on that note, again, there's all sorts of things that were in the announcements today. A lot of that's already come out in email. Please, again, put the charter night on your calendar for Thursday the 3rd. One of my good friends from the Rhino Rotary Club, I believe he'll be one of our musical artists with his accompanist. And I knew him from the Bay Area. His name's Justin Banks, so he's a friend of Alon and mine. So hopefully he'll be, I think that's who we might be going with now that he said he'll do it for free. So yeah, that's even better, right? And he's a well-known artist. He plays at like Laramie Lounge and stuff. They don't tour, but they open for a lot of bands that come into town. So it'll be fun. So yeah, definitely put it in your calendar. I'd love to have a good show to have him come out and he's pretty talented. So with that said, as always, if it's Wednesday, it's Rotary. Thank you all so much.
Well,